Hi guys, Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to create a faux enamel pendant. So I've got some Primo Pearl White here rolled out on the thickest setting of my pasta machine, and I want you to either get some sandpaper or just any sort of texture roller will work. I'm going to be using this kind of checkered texture roller, and I'm going to roll that over the surface like so. Then I'm going to go in the opposite direction, and I'm just going to continue rolling over the surface like so. And the whole point is to get a textured pattern. It doesn't have to be any kind of specific pattern. You're just rolling over it a number of times just to kind of get a generic pattern like so. Then just use some plain printing paper to burnish that back down. And this should have created a sort of mica shift in the pearl white. Just make sure that you burnish properly. You want that clay to be completely smooth. There we go, and that's pretty much smooth. Let me just bring over the blade because we do not need to be using all of this. And that is to just give it a I didn't want it to be a solid pearl white colour, I wanted it to have some variation in it. If you don't want that, you can keep the regular pearl white colour. So I'll lift this up and I'll show you. That's what the regular colour looks like. That's what it looks like after we've messed with it a little bit. Okay, and so I've just got it resting on a piece of paper. Then I want you to choose some kind of stencil. This is the stencil that I've chosen where it has various kaleidoscope patterns. And we're going to burnish that down onto the clay. So I'm going to be using, let's see, I'll use this one here. So I'll put that down roughly in the middle. And just burnish that onto the clay thoroughly. You want it well burnished on. Like so. And I'm going to bring over my chosen liquid clays, and I'm going to be using all Sculpey liquid clays today. So I've got this dark blue, light pearl white or pearl blue, and also this gold. So I'll just put those to the side. I'm going to be working with the blue first, and I'm going to be very careful while we're doing this because I don't want runoff. Just apply a bit in there, like so. Then use a needle tool to very gently drag that to the edges. And it's okay if it goes over the edges a little bit, but you do want it up against the edges. And try not to dig into the clay as much as possible. I'll just add a bit more. And the reason I'm using the Sculpey liquid clay instead of the Kato liquid clay is because the Sculpey liquid clay holds its shape much better than the Kato one. The Kato one is quite runny, and while it does give a really nice shiny finish, while this gives a matte finish, it would not really hold itself very well once we lifted the stencil. There we go. Then once you've drug that to the edges like so, just clean up your tool. Okay, and then I'm going to alternate between the dark blue, then light blue, and so on and so forth the whole way around. Okay, there we go. Now I am going to be adding in some gold. So the gold areas that I want are very small, and so what I'm going to do, let me just rotate this. I'm going to put that gold liquid clay off to the side, and I'm going to use my tool to apply it, just because it's safer to do it that way. Like so. Okay. I'm just going to apply the gold in these tiny little areas around these circles. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to bring over some black, which I did just decide to add into the piece, and I'm going to add the black to the edges, and I'm also going to have the black as the outer ring of circles in here, and then I'm going to have probably the gold as the inner ring. Okay, and there we go. Now we are going to lift this up. So I did change the pattern. Instead of going black all around the edges and then gold, I decided to just do the alternating blue again and then black in the middle. So now we want to be careful with this because I want to try to avoid dripping. There we go. So you want to lift it up very quickly. Sorry, I didn't talk through that much because I was concentrating. You want to lift this up pretty quickly in one direction. And when I say quickly, I want you to do it quite quickly because you don't want to be letting that liquid clay drip. So now I'm going to bring over a square cutter. Okay, and I'm going to be using this kind of rounded square cutter. Okay, then once you've positioned it, cut. There we go. And I have not pressed down as hard as I should have in that one section, so let me just quickly redo that. Okay, there we go. Now I want you to put that into the oven for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature, and then when that's baked we might apply some resin. It really depends on how it ends up looking, and we'll string it. Okay, and here it is out of the oven. So you can see how well that's turned out. It looks really quite nice. If you need to, you can give the edges a sand or the back a sand, but because we bake that on paper, it shouldn't really need all that much done to it. So now we are going to varnish this. Keep in mind, you do not have to varnish it if this is all polymer clay, so if you don't need to seal it. This is simply so that we can give it a shiny finish. So I've got some Varathane off to the side here. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop that onto the piece, and I'm going to brush it over the surface. And I don't want a thick coat, just want a nice thin coat over the piece. And this will just get everything to shine up. You're not going to be able to see it all that well right now because the varnish looks slightly opaque. But you'll find that it just brings out the colours quite a bit. So brush that over if you want. You don't have to. If you don't want to seal it or you prefer the matte finish, then by all means skip this step and move on to the next one. Okay, and here it is. So you can see how that makes it quite a bit shinier. So if you want it this way, apply a high gloss sealer, or you can leave it matte the way it was. So now I'm going to string it. So I'm just going to rotate that around, and I'm going to bring over a pin drill. Just going to make the hole. And I make it from the back because then I don't have a pattern distracting me, so I can see exactly where it's supposed to get drilled. Whereas if I drill from the front, generally speaking, I end up getting distracted by the pattern, don't actually see where I should have drilled the hole, and so it's off center a lot of the time. There we go. You can see how easy that is. Then I've got myself a bail here. Some pliers. And I might actually just do that by hand first. Just slide one pin into the hole and squeeze that shut, like so. And there we go. So that's that. Then just grab your cord of choice, and I'm using this rubber cord, and that's all there is to it. So, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please do let me know in the comments below. And bear in mind that you can use any colour liquid clay you want, you can use any stencils you want, you can also use any background you want. So there's lots of ways that you can use this. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it. If you would like to support the channel so I can continue making videos like this one in the future, please do consider becoming a member. Either on my YouTube channel or on Patreon. Both supply exclusive tutorials that you can't get on YouTube. Or if you want to support a different way, buying tools and supplies from my Etsy shop, Jessima Design, also really helps. I have a link to that in the description below. Or if you can't do that, subscribing and liking the video is also really helpful, and I greatly appreciate that as well. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have questions, let me know and I'll try to answer those as quickly as possible. And I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.